kind of the unwritten understanding of what you're participating in and the levels of respect and all these kind of things. And so I always find it interesting when there's other people involved that are that also don't really identify with a religion, but speak about it as if it has represented that for them in some way.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that, I over the years, I have come to really appreciate this notion of knowing myself in the journey. And I think it's hard, not to think about this question, as you're doing this soul searching, right? Because I kind of liken it to, I have to, well, this gets into a longer kind of conversation, but I look at it as all as one plane. Like, and so,
Existence.
yeah, and more importantly, just the notion of the engagement. Like I'll like so I'll start at a high level, right? So there's this guy,
We got time.
yeah.
Go for it.
So
Yeah.
there's this warrior, Sun Tzu, right? This famous general,
Yep.
right? And you know, in his prerequisite for understanding warfare, he basically, if you really drill down the tenets of the book, The Art of War, there's only three things you need to know to win. One is, information about the opponent that you're sparring with or the enemy. Two, it's about the environment. Where are we fighting? Right?
Right.
And three, it's about yourself. Now, I thought through this a lot, and it seems like to me that number one and number two, knowing about the opponent, knowing about the terrain, those are probably easier to get information about than really understanding
Yes.
yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you come to understanding yourself, well, then you're like, okay, well, one part of that is, what is my spiritual, or what is my belief system? You kind of have these three places of yourself. You've got your, physical aspect of it. You've got
Right.
uh, an intellectual aspect, and you've got an emotional aspect. And I think a true warrior, someone that is going through life in a leadership way, has to have pretty good clarity on those three areas in their life. And so I have this belief that if that is all in tune,
Mm-hmm.
if I have that clarity, then I can get to a point of what I call stillness. In an engagement, I liken it to, you have a pair of binoculars. You're looking through the binoculars. You'll notice it's pretty hard to see the image in the view if your binoculars are shaking all the time.
Right.
Well, if you think of, your engagement that way, if my vibration is singular, in that moment, I can see, I can hear, I can feel, and I can see everything that's in front of me. In Jiu Jitsu, for instance, I could feel my partner's weight distribution. I
Right.
can see their movements. I can, and if you think about it in this context, the more clarity you have as a singular focus within yourself, the easier it will be for you to see what is truly being given to you, as we like to say in Jiu Jitsu, that what's really
Right.
right in front of me. But it's easy to be confused. It's easy to not have that singular vibration. Things come into your head and you get confused. Oh, I gotta, change the baby's diapers, or things are happening. But in that
Yeah.
true kind of oneness, you have that ability And so I often feel like this question about spirituality is, or, where, what you believe in is a core function of that.